accusations of gerrymandering.
It's rigging the system in their own interest, and that's exactly what's happening here.
The UCP looks to redraw Alberta's political map.
We had some significant collisions.
Another spring snowstorm blasts Calgary and surrounding areas. And a medical match.
If you feel any sort of inkling or calling, look into it and see if you could be a match, because it's life-changing for these kids.
A live organ donation saves a little boy.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla DiGiuseppe.
Good evening. The UCP government wants Alberta's electoral map expanded and redrawn and is asking a committee stacked with its own MLAs to do the work. An independent body usually takes care of adjusting voting boundaries, but the province is convinced it can make the process fair on its own. Tim Brooke has more on the plan and on why critics believe it's a case of gerrymandering.
Over the past year, Alberta's Electoral Boundaries Commission held public hearings across the province and produced this report recommending changes to riding boundaries. It's all meant to address Alberta's population growth. Those who worked on the commission say maintaining independence was crucial to the process.
One of the things that I pride myself on, and the commission, was we were nonpartisan. We heard Albertans. And we wrote the report for Albertans.
But the province will not move forward with this report. Instead, it will appoint a government-led committee to finish the work. It's a process that won't include public consultation.
To not take that report, it's dismaying, and it's unjust, and it's undemocratic.
Critics worry a committee controlled by the UCP will ensure the new electoral map gives more power to rural voters, those who tend to vote Conservative. The government rejects that characterization.
So we know the opposition is just trying to play politics with this, making bombastic statements. You'd have to talk to them.
So we did. The opposition leader calls it gerrymandering. That's a political strategy commonly used south of the border that gives the ruling party an advantage in elections.
And at the end of the day, this is not about providing effective representation. This is because they're scared of losing.
Premier Smith says the new mapping process is only meant to increase Alberta's seats from 87 to 91. And that was recommended by the Commission. But Danielle Smith isn't saying why the other recommendations are not being taken.
What we're trying to do is preserve the representation in rural Alberta, just as the judge recommended.
They didn't get their preferred maps. This government has been clear from the start that they only care about power. They don't care about ethical government.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
The Alberta NDP says it's seeking legal guidance into whether pursuing a court challenge into the matter. Well, it was chaos on Calgary roads this morning as drivers woke up to a massive dump of snow. Police were busy fielding calls for more than 100 crashes between midnight and 4 o'clock this afternoon. With the winter blast, Calgarians are dreaming of warmer days ahead. Tyson Fedor reports.
A winter whiteout on city roads in the middle of April. Drivers dealing with snow buildup and slow commutes.
It's enough. Enough is enough. It's normal. It's Calgary. I've lived here for 36 years and it's just you get used to it.
The latest snowfall is no surprise for many Calgarians who have grown accustomed to old man winter, squashing any hope of a warm spring.
We do need the moisture, right? And it's not that bad out here. I mean, hey, this is April.
See you on Monday, I guess, because it'll be 20 on Monday.
The conditions were felt across the region. This pickup truck is seen in a ditch in Foothills County. A train also blocked several rural roadways in De Winton for hours as it faced a mechanical issue. And the airport also saw delays for travelers looking to escape the snow. But it also serves as a reminder that not everyone can escape the cold.
We know that not everyone is in the position today to be able to access a home or a warm space, so those spaces are here for them.
The Calgary Homeless Foundation says there were more than 32,000 visits at day spaces between December and the end of March for those who were unhoused. On city roads, the snowfall led to commuter chaos.
We had some significant collisions. Thankfully, none serious injury or fatality.
Calgary police say between midnight and 4 p.m. Thursday, there were 30 hit-and-run crashes, 3 of them resulting with injuries. But there were 120 collisions, only 11 resulted in someone being hurt.
I have to admit there were a lot of trucks mainly that were using the ploughed lane, but driving what I would say at the speed limit of 100 kilometres an hour. They just had to be very cognizant because obviously their stopping distances are going to be drastically reduced with the road surfaces like they are.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Danielle is in with our first look at the weather. Hopefully now the bulk of all that snow is behind us.
Yep.
But we still have a slick morning commute to look forward to.
Yeah, we had so much snow and then we had some melting and now it's freezing. So keep in mind sidewalks, roads, many spots will be very slick out there for your morning commute. All right, let's talk about how much snow we got and then we'll forget about it. Well, it may take a couple days for this to be fully gone and melt, but here we go. Anywhere from 12 to 26 centimeters fell in the city, depending on where you were. Bragg Creek saw closer to 25 centimeters, Strathmore closer to 30, Banff 8 to 12, and the system really just clipped the edge of the Lethbridge area, only about 2 centimeters there. So yes, we saw a huge amount of snow. This system is now out, but in behind it for tomorrow will still be a little unstable. So there is the potential of a couple little isolated pop-up flurries or showers. But it's a very small chance of seeing that in Calgary. We'll certainly see a good amount of cloud cover with some sunny breaks at times. Now, to kick off the day, a wind chill of -6, but we will get to +5 in the afternoon, and that +5 is just the beginning of a huge warm-up to come. We'll talk about that just ahead.
Danielle, thank you so much. A former correctional officer from Olds faces allegations she had a romantic relationship with an inmate and smuggled in contraband. 46-year-old Jennifer Plant is charged with breach of trust by a public official. She's been released from custody and is due back in court on May 1st. She's accused of smuggling nicotine patches and a cell phone into Bowden Institution for the inmate to sell at inflated prices. RCMP say banking records show Plant received thousands of dollars in payment. Police say she resigned when she learned about the investigation. Alberta travelers are weighing in tonight on whether personal data could be affecting what they pay for flights online, amongst several other products. It comes after a federal push this week to ban so-called surveillance pricing failed in Parliament. Mark Villani has more on the issue and what to be aware of.
Travelers are always searching for a deal on flights, but is all that searching actually costing you more?
Without a doubt, in my mind, they are targeting that all the time.
It's called algorithmic pricing, the use of personal data like browsing habits, location, or past purchases, not just demand, to help set prices. Experts say it means 2 people in 2 different cities purchasing the same airline ticket could be paying 2 different prices. Keith Marsh is traveling from Calgary with his family. He says it's not just flights.
You're starting to see it in other industries now too, so they're replicating a lot of what they're doing. Make sure you're clearing your browsers, clearing your cookies. If you can afford it, get a VPN.
Air Canada told us algorithmic pricing was, quote, an urban legend. And WestJet also denies any use of personal information to determine flight costs. But passenger rights advocates say you should still watch for sudden changes.
Personally, I would always take screenshots. Then I can tell the airline, look, you have been advertising for this price. I have been accepting your offer to buy this flight for a given price.
Meanwhile, others still feel like it's unavoidable.
It's just kind of a free-for-all in terms of pricing.
You should be able to search and not have to be charged extra.
And a new poll from Abacus Data finds that Canadian consumers are skeptical. Nearly half noticed automatic price changes for flights, hotels, or online shopping. 52% say the practice should be banned, and about 1/3 say more regulation is needed.
Regardless of who you are, you should be able to get a service or product for the same price.
It's unfair, it's a ripoff, and it's downright creepy.
The The federal NDP pushed to ban the practice this week. Its motion was defeated. Manitoba's government also introduced legislation prohibiting retailers from using personal data.
Give out as little as possible. Tell white lies. Don't give your real birthday. Don't even give your real age on a survey.
Back in Alberta, the province says it's monitoring the situation. We have not heard that this is a concern in Alberta. In many cases, this type of pricing mechanism is used as part of a loyalty or rewards program, so we are not considering changes at this time.
It's something that, let's say, the government should start looking into.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
The Competition Bureau says it can step in if it sees evidence of anti-competitive behavior or misleading practices. Alberta's government also encourages anyone to file a complaint with the Consumer Protection Unit if you notice anything suspicious or any suspicious price changes online. The provincial government wants to replace the Welcome to Alberta signs at all highway entrances. Some of the current wooden signs are almost 40 years old. The government wants to replace them with placards shaped like the map of Alberta, and they can't be made of wood. The transportation minister says what the signs will say will be decided when the bidding process ends later this spring. The current one says, "Welcome to Alberta, Wild Rose Country," with an image of a pink rose. Last year, the province dropped Wild Rose Country from license plates and replaced it with the provincial motto, "Strong and Free." Well, just ahead, the playoffs are an exciting time, but addiction experts are concerned about the growing allure of online betting. That story next.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
As the province grows its online gambling and sports betting platform and the NHL playoffs are about to get underway, addiction experts are watching closely. Some worry it's going to draw more people into gambling problems. CTV's Evan Kenny reports.
Your starting lineup brought to you by our friends at Bet99.
Within the first minute of watching an Oilers game, you'll likely see one of these ads.
At edmontonoilers.com/5050.
From 50/50 to online sports books, a Norquest College instructor says these ads run up to 60 times each game.
It's constant throughout the game, so if someone was particularly vulnerable, then they might be more inclined to then place an impulsive bet.
Alana Brown is a mental health and addictions instructor at Norquest. She says 1 in 5 Canadians have reported placing a sports bet in the past year.
There are certainly risks associated with problem gambling, including higher chance of developing depressive disorder, anxiety disorder, substance use issues, as well as elevated suicide risk.
And because of the Oilers' diehard fan base, she's concerned the intensity of the playoffs could push some people too far.
You also want to be aware of your own emotional state of mind. It's a high-intensity, emotionally charged game.
Soon, Albertans will have more platforms to gamble on. The online sportsbook and casino, DraftKings, is coming to Alberta in July.
What we're doing is we're trying to create a regulated, legal format for those that want to participate in online gambling that is a little bit safer than the black market today.
The minister says people are betting online anyway, and the province wants to make sure they're doing it in a responsible way. That's why it has introduced the iGambling Act to regulate the market.
If there was a red button that I could push that would stop online gambling, I would push that button. But it doesn't exist.
MGM's got all the sports betting in one place.
For people placing bets, Canada's gambling guidelines suggest only doing so once a week and to avoid using multiple formats at once and set a price limit.
Drain that 3!
Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
Some of Calgary's community leaders and media personalities are getting ready to leave it all on the dance floor for a great cause.
I'm dancing for my brother. I'm dancing for every kid that needs this needs this service, needs this solution, and just to make life better for everyone.
Dennis is one of 7 Calgarians being paired up with a professional dancer to compete in this year's Keeping Pace Gala in support of Pace Kids. The Calgary nonprofit offers specialized therapy, education, and family support for children with special needs. Dennis, who is originally from Nigeria, has a younger brother with autism. He says he understands what it's like not having the proper supports and wants to bring awareness and raise money for the charity at this Saturday's event. Well, we have a happy update to a story about an Airdrie boy who was awaiting a liver donation. The toddler was in hospital, his condition worsening when a family friend donated a piece of hers. Alicia Fieldberg met up with little Colby and his donor Amy today.
Thank you. 2-year-old Colby happily shares his treats with his friend. A small token, but it means the world to Amy Hassan, who donated part of her liver to save his life.
He's thriving, and it's an undescribable feeling. His liver looks great. It's functioning beautifully. He's growing and developing faster.
Colby has a rare genetic condition called Alagille syndrome. Last year, the impacts on his liver were threatening his life.
And last summer, we saw a really great decline in his health. So we did almost lose him in the hospital a number of times. We spent months in the ICU.
That's when Hassan, a family friend, received word that she was a medical match. She had started getting tested weeks earlier when she knew Colby needed a donor to survive.
I had this feeling inside that, is something that I needed to do.
She's not the first person in her family to donate an organ.
My mom donated her kidney to my uncle a couple years previous, so I kind of watched her recovery and watched her go through it, and it was a pretty amazing experience.
In 2025, there were 75 living donors in Alberta. 71 donated kidneys and 4, including Hassan, donated liver lobes. She says it was worth the risk of major surgery and months of recovery.
It's not that scary. They do it often. The recovery is not that bad, and 7 months for a child's life is everything.
Colby's family hopes this story may encourage others to become organ donors.
I think it's incredible. I think they're like living superheroes. I think it's the most selfless act that you could do. She literally gave him his life. So
Colby got his happy ending. More than 500 others are awaiting a life-saving organ transplant in Alberta. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Airdrie.
Well, if you want your organs donated when you die, you have to register your decision, not just sign the back of your health card. We do have a link on our website with details on that and what to do if you are considering becoming a live organ donor. Well, school kids were able to learn about the farm today without having to battle the cold weather or leave the city. Aggie Days has taken over Stampede Park with interactive exhibits and activities like cow milking and sheep shearing. The first 3 days of the event are for children in grades 3 to 6 through school field trips. Organizers expect over 12,000 kids to participate on the weekend. The event is open to the public for free. It takes place inside the Nutrien Western Event Center from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Aggie Days is our attempt to provide the story of food to people that don't have access to a rural relative or someone on a farm. They don't know where their food comes from, what things from a farm make what kind of foods, and we try to make that connection.
This is the 41st year for Aggie Days. Well, Danielle's up next with her Skywatch forecast, and we have weather or warmer weather conditions on the way. Those details coming right up.
All right, onwards and upwards, as they say. That was certainly a big blast of winter. The snow is now done, well, the bulk of it anyway. And now we're just looking at temperatures that are going to climb while we're sleeping. This is the look at daytime highs today. -4 in the city, -5 in Brooks, and -3 in Lethbridge and Pincher Creek. While we've cooled since then, temperatures will warm while we're sleeping. So we'll still have a bit of a wind chill to kick off tomorrow in the city, -6 with the wind chill. But then we'll get above the freezing mark in the afternoon. All right, here's a look at the system that has now since fizzled out and moved off to the east. So tomorrow, because of the system still close enough to us, it's going to create a little bit of instability. That means mainly cloudy skies, Calgary included in this, and even there will be some pop-up flurries, pop-up mixed precipitation out there. Very isolated, and if you get it at all, very brief. It's much like the nature of pop-up thunderstorms, so it's very hard to forecast exactly where we get it, but there will be some little pockets here and there. 30% chance of seeing any of that in Calgary. And then as we get into Saturday, let me fast forward. This is Saturday. So the weekend, all sunshine and much warmer temperatures. We have a really incredible longer range forecast. All right, so tomorrow, mainly cloudy skies, small chance of any sort of mixed precipitation. very small chance, and a high of 5 degrees. By Saturday, you're looking at 10, and then for Sunday, we'll be in the mid-teens. High teens by Monday, and there's a very good chance that we'll hit the 20-degree mark by Tuesday of next week.
All right, Danielle, thank you. The Calgary Flames closing out the season at home, but ahead of tonight's game, Dustin Wolf made a young fan's year after an incredible start to the week.
Elusiveness, Parekh shoots, scores! St. Parekh with his best of the season.
That's one happy Zane Parekh moving the Flames ahead of the LA Kings in what is their final game of the 2025-26 season tonight at home at the Dome. There is no postseason for the Flames, but fans seem very entertained and impressed in their final outing, especially with Arseny Sergeyev, who was called up from the minors to play in his first NHL start between the pipes. The Flames beat the Kings 3-1, ending the season with a 34-39-9 record. A young goalie from Carstairs is having the week of his life. It all started on Tuesday night at the Flames game. Glenn Campbell has more.
It's been quite a week for 10-year-old Cade Heisler. On Tuesday night, during a TV timeout, Flames goaltender Dustin Wolf gave the youngster his goalie stick. His reaction was priceless because it meant so much to him. He also became a viral sensation.
Yeah, just really exciting. Seeing the views on like TikTok and stuff is like really insane. Like one already almost has 200,000 views, and all the comments are really nice.
On Thursday morning, Cade and his family were at the Flames morning skate. He also got to meet his hero in the dressing room after the Flames came off the ice. Wolf knows as an athlete, you can have a huge impact on a kid.
It's little actions like this where maybe it doesn't seem too much to me, but it means the world to them, and that's what it's all about. And to make kids' days and to make people happy is what you want to do, and very grateful that it worked out the way it did.
Heisler is also a goaltender, and he says Wolf has been a huge inspiration to him.
Kind of like how he's a smaller goalie, because I'm a smaller goalie too, and he proves that size doesn't matter. If you're short or tall, you can still cover the same amount of net. And Wolf turns the size into motivation.
Malinsky settles and shoots, tipped, just wide, and what a save by Dustin Wolf!
Heisler would one day love to play in the NHL just like his idol. Wolf grew up wanting to be just like Jonathan Quick and was fortunate enough to get a few pictures with his hero. He's proof that dreams can become a reality.
To get to play against him and see him across the ice a few times was certainly a dream come true, and would have loved to have another opportunity to get a win against him. But that's the stuff you dream about as a kid, and certainly I know little kids strive to do that as well.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
What a story indeed. All right, that's it for us here at CTV News at 11:30. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Stay warm and enjoy the sunny next few days. Take care.